Coming up right now, meet the Tiger Woods of Scrabble. This champ has a unique way of winning the game in any language.
Also coming up, the pros and cons of putting your ex on blast via social media.
A little bit later on, a school bus driver pulls a maneuver worthy of a scene out of a superhero movie.
Oh, she sure does. Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, and we're welcoming you to Daily Flash. How are you? We got James Alexander hanging out over there, taking care of the floor. We'll be checking in with Matt Doolittle a little bit later on in the show. And how are you, Miss Lady?
I'm doing okay. Doing okay. So it's interesting when you talk about, let's say, certain restaurants that turn into nightclubs after hours, right?
Okay, yeah.
You think of maybe like a fine dining establishment or something super trendy and cool.
I get it.
McDonald's in Budapest is the hottest after-hours nightclub.
Really? Right.
Yes, after hours, this McDonald's in Budapest from 10 until 2 p.m. turns into like this raging nightclub.
How cool would that actually
Right?
be? And I wonder if they stop serving the food, or is it? I guess they could just clear the chairs out and.
Good
play their
question.
stuff.
I assume that maybe they continue to serve food because they've got packed crowds, so why not? But I mean, it's not something that you would think of.
No, not at
normally.
all. Not at all.
But I think because of the building it's in and because of where it's at, that's why it's like such a huge draw.
And everybody's familiar with it as well. And
The Golden Arches.
getting a Happy Meal means something different
cheap
after
date?
a certain time. And a cheap
cheap
date?
date, that's
yeah,
right.
that's a James
Hey,
is
you
thinking
can get your
economic.
girl
James
with
is
a little
always
small
thinking
fry.
that.
Get a small fry. Again, shit, you want fries with that shake? No, seriously, you want fries with that shake? I would like to check that out. That would be kind of fun. Sad party at McDonald's. Cool stuff there. Here's some trending news happening around the country and the world. This is interesting. A famous speller considered to be the Tiger Woods of Scrabble took the top spot at a recent World Scrabble Championship. It happened in Spain. His name is Nigel Richards, and he came out ahead of 145 opponents. He won 22 consecutive matches. Now get this is cool. Richard is ranked as the #1 Scrabble player in the world. The runner-up says that Richard's strategy involves a lot of complex words and unusual choices that throw off his opponents.
Okay.
And Richard previously won the French language title back in 2015 and 2018, despite not understanding or even speaking French at all. A longtime friend says that Richard spent 9 weeks memorizing nearly 400,000 words in French.
Wow.
He studies words and their spellings, but not their meanings. So he sees words. He has no idea what they mean, but he just knows, oh, that's a French word. And so that's how he's winning all these. And he said he can win it in any language that he gets to learn afterwards.
He's just got that innate ability, I mean, to probably recognize a word and figure out how it could be spelled in a million different languages.
It has to be. It has to be much like the people that can just look at like Rubik's Cubes and put it together. They look at the letters, like I could spell this, that sort of thing. And that's interesting, but just to know, I think that takes him up to another level as well of who's going to beat this guy if he has words that he's obviously in English, I guess, that he knows
I'm
already.
surprised some people say that's not cheating. Like, if you don't speak the language, how are you able to compete in that?
I'm sure somebody will come out and say something along those lines, but if that's a strategy, it seems to be working.
I can see that. A social media star publicly shaming an ex-boyfriend for finding or for ending their relationship after 18 months together. The scorn lover posted a clip which now has more than 5 million views, explaining why he's seeking his day in court. He claims his former partner bought a camera on his credit card, and it was all for his photo business while they were still together, and promised to pay him back. Despite the awkward breakup, he just wants his money back. Once some of the ex uploaded images online disclosing to friends that he was leaving the country. The content creator admits this isn't the first time his ex has taken advantage of his kindness. Many people online chimed in, showing their support for the unfortunate breakup.
It sounds like, he wants to get back at
Yes.
the person. I understand that, and that's going to happen, that sort of thing. But to me, This says everything about you, that you are whining to everybody else about
Exactly.
what happened to you. And, you know,
Woe
I get
is
it.
me.
Woe is
Right.
me. Stay away from this guy. You know, move on. If you're going to move on, move on. I guess he's screaming, I've lost money out of the deal. Well, guess what? It happens in a lot of relationships.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to lend somebody money, I mean, they always say never lend any money. Give it to them. And if they pay you back, great. If they don't, then you know what? You're done. But for him to loan him money to buy a camera, that's on him. That's not the other guy's fault.
100% on him. And for him to go online says more about him rather, knowing what kind of relationship is, what's going to happen in the next one, you know?
Right.
I just hate when people just, you know what, keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
You don't need to do it because there's 3 stories out of everything. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
A Long Island school bus driver being praised for maneuvering down a sloped, snowy road. Check out this video, and it's showing her, the bus rather, skidding on an icy residential street. Now, despite the poor conditions, she was able to actually stop the bus safely at the bottom of the road in just a few seconds. Look at this, man. She recently received a certificate of appreciation from the school district and gave a shout out to her bus company. And if you think about it, you're handing your child over at the beginning of the day to go to school to a person that's going to drive them place. That's the kind of person that you want them in there. And she was thinking the entire time, you know, the safety about the kids. Obviously, how can I get out of this? Because I know that I have all these kids on there.
I'm suing for trauma.
Trauma, you've got trauma just looking at
I can't get on the yellow bus anymore.
No, well, I don't blame you for that.
Well, the buses you're on a lot smaller, really short.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, it is what it is.
You didn't have to worry about that.
It was still fun.
It was fun.
I just think back to the day, you know, our bus drivers were college kids.
Jackson, when I was in high school.
Oh my God,
no,
They
it's
were.
true.
No, it's true. I mean, I can't believe that they had that responsibility.
I went to Long Beach, Mississippi, went to Long Beach High School, and you could be as long as you were 18, you could drive a school bus.
What?
So I got honest truth. This dude, and he reminded me just so much of Otto from The Simpsons. Okay, imagine that. Honestly, he looked like it. And he was in my math class, and he was sitting. I go, dude, what are you doing? You can't get up. He goes, I'm driving the bus, man. And are you allowed to do that? I thought like the guy had gotten off and or he stole the bus or whatever. But there was about 4 students I remember in high school that drove the school bus, and then college students, you know, not much older than that.
Yeah.
It's a good way to make some cash.
Yeah, but the responsibility.
The responsibility would blow me away. All of that.
Have you ever craved a juicy burger and maybe a side of, let's say, nostalgia while enjoying some good old-fashioned entertainment?
Okay.
Well, buckle up because you are in for a ride in the Wayback Machine. Ready for this one? Disney fans know it as the sci-fi dine-in theater restaurant at Hollywood Studios. Mitch, you and I have been there.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Instead of a regular dining table, you'll be seated inside a vintage convertible where you can dine while watching old movies on a giant screen. The atmosphere might just make you believe you're at an actual drive-in theater.
It's one of the most popular there at now Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
I think we got to go there when our show was being produced over
Yeah.
there. We got to go check it out. We would go to the Brown Derby all the time.
Yeah,
it was always
Brown
fun.
Derby was
But
really
it's
cool.
the atmosphere, and I think, you know, more and more restaurants, I think, should realize how much atmosphere adds. Well, you were just talking about the
yeah.
McDonald's. I'm sure they probably got a good atmosphere.
Budapest, yeah.
In Budapest. It's all about an experience, and you're finding more and more restaurants realizing, okay, if we want them to come back here, because you always go back to a feeling or a smell, you know what I'm saying? And it feels like, wow, this is neat. And heck, I would like to do it. Unfortunately, you have to go inside Disney World in order to get there.
Yeah, and you have to make a reservation. I know, like usually
It's not
weeks
easy,
in
right?
advance. It's tough to get in there unless you're willing to wait. Here's a sweet gift for anyone looking for some positive news. A vinyl record from a couple's wedding back in 1966 was returned to the family after it was found in a Texas thrift store.
Oh, really?
A woman bought the vinyl at a secondhand shop in Austin thinking it was a jazz album, but when she opened it up, she found a record labeled Phil and Donna's Wedding. So she shared her story with local news outlets as a way to contact the owners. The couple's daughter, Donna, saw it, reached out. Donna said her parents held an estate sale before they actually moved from Texas to Colorado. She says the recording of her parents' vows must have been placed in the wrong sleeve.
And imagine how precious that would be to the family, and then be able to play it back again.
Right?
Anybody have a record player?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're still married, though.
But they're still married, which is
that's great. So that's true love.
In 1966.
She didn't take half.
You know, in this day and age, we're all like capturing video on our phones and everything, but back then that's all they had, and you'd be able to have a vinyl. To me, not I guess that happened a lot. You'd have to have special equipment.
This is the first I've ever heard of something
Like on
like
a
this.
vinyl?
But yeah, to record your wedding vows on vinyl.
They knew they had reel to reel back then, so you expect maybe. No, seriously, that was like before
Yeah,
records,
maybe.
right? 8-track. Well, I don't know about 8-track. 8-track's like in the same. But what a great! I would put it on the wall, like when you win one of those awards.
Yeah.
In our wedding.
Golden.
Yeah, put it nice
right.
in colors and everything, and everybody look at it as well. All right, we have got more. We want you to check out our website, dailyflashshow.com. Anything that we talk about here on the show, we pass it along. Actually, you can watch the entire shows on our website. It's very simple to go to.
Yeah, dailyflashshow.com, and then you can also sound off and let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. We got more fun coming up right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We love having you. This is today's Trends, tomorrow's Talk, Daily Flash.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Our next guest, leadership expert and author John St. James, has a new book. It's called The Master's Path. And in it, he says that to live a fulfilling and successful life, you need to stay focused and stick with it for the long haul. John joins us from Atlanta to talk about the book and more. John, welcome to Daily Flash.
Well, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. It's great to be here.
So there are no quick fixes in life. We know this. And you have 5 essentials for people who have decided to create a better life for themselves. Let's start with the first one. You say proper perspective.
Yes, that's right. So, yeah, proper perspective. I have found over the years working with all kinds of clients that, your perspective truly determines your potential. And what I mean by that is simply this, how you see things determines what you see. So really, what I have found to be true is that people that have a proper perspective, to be happy, joyful, to be fulfilled, to be a great leader. I've come to learn that you've really got to have a positive mindset, number one, and then a future orientation. Okay, so we call this the growth mindset. Somebody who has goal orientation, somebody who has action orientation, somebody who wants to do well. They're constantly wanting to learn. And the Japanese term for this is kaizen. For constant and never-ending improvement.
You also say, find your sacred purpose.
Yeah, so really, that's the sacred purpose is really what drives us. And I'll use another Japanese term. It's called ikigai. And so ikigai is really finding your passion. It's your mission. It's the thing that you love to do, that you do well. It's the thing that, you could get paid for. It's the thing that the world actually needs. Now, when you find that, I call it your calling. When you find your calling and something you love and you have a passion for, then you really have found happiness, joy, and fulfillment. And so with that, your purpose really is what drives you. It's your meaning. It brings meaning to your life.
It's tapping into that vein of gold, that passion that is a struggle for so many people. You also say living with passion is part of it.
So no doubt. So, we just mentioned passion. We were talking about ikigai. Your passion really is the fuel that drives the race car, right? So when I think of anybody that's passionate about what they do, certain things come to mind, right? They're energetic, they're enthusiastic, they're eager, they're excited to learn, they're excited to get started. So somebody who has passion will take their life journey and they will make the very most out of it because they are in love with what they do.
And you say keeping with it, sticking to it, it's all about perseverance.
Yeah, right, no doubt. So I learned that on my way to becoming a 9th-degree black belt and the head of an international martial arts organization. So, we all start with the old saying, right? All beginners, or excuse me, all winners start as beginners. So here's what I know: when we start, we're usually not very good at something. But the more we do it, the more we learn, the more we grow, the more we share, the more we serve, the more we learn to lead and build teams, the more expertise and authority we have, the more inspirational we will be. So finding your inspiration, building yourself first before you try to build others, this all falls into sticking with it long enough to become great at it. I call it Mastering the Path, which is my book.
Mastering, it's perfect. And John, how important are people skills when it comes to all of this?
I would say critical if you want to build a team. And so here's what I know: by yourself, you can only do so much, right? But when you build a team of leaders and you surround yourself with leaders, what you can do is absolutely unbelievable. So to me, having a high-end communication skills, being able to recognize, acknowledge, and encourage your team, being able to build a team in the first place. But when you are using empathy and you're a compassionate individual that really wants to help people learn, grow, share, serve, lead, and inspire, you will eventually get to what we call happiness, joy, and fulfillment.
John St. James, terrific information, inspirational to talk to you. I'm already feeling motivated by the Master's Path. His book is called The Master's Path. masterspathconsulting.com is the website. That's where you can go for more information. Mitch, we'll send it on over to you.
Oh, thank you there, Jackson. A little trendy news, if you will. You probably remember this. 5 years ago, it was an art installation called Comedian, basically an art piece, and it featured a banana that was just duct taped to a wall. Remember that?
Yes.
Could fetch $1.5 million when it goes up for
No.
auction. Not lying. And it's not even an original. I'll explain in a second. The winning bidder actually is going to receive a certificate of authenticity from the artist, even though it actually won't be the original banana from the Miami show.
Not the original banana.
Not the original banana. In 2019, the artist created 3 editions of Comedian for the Miami show. It was called Art Basil. 3 bananas were purchased for display, I believe, for 20 cents each
3 bananas.
at a local grocery store. 2 of those works sold for $120,000,
Come on.
while the 3rd piece was donated to the Guggenheim Museum. Well, now Comedian is going on a global tour, being shown at the Sotheby's galleries all around the world ahead of the auction. It sounds like it got fame because it got fame. I'm sorry,
Art
I said
Basel.
Basil. What did I say? Basil?
I think you said basil. Yeah, but
Basil,
it's okay.
basil. I was saying, I
call
know
the whole
the
thing off.
British people call the plant
Basil.
basil, and I'm not English, but my last name is.
Art
So I'm trying to
Basel.
get out of that. Listen, no, that's not what's idiotic. Idiotic is that somebody would pay $1.5 million
For an old banana.
for an old banana that was just duct tape. And again, art is subjective.
Yes.
So some people might call that art. Those people call me, and I will bring you a bunch of bananas, and I'll charge you half of that much.
And a roll of duct
And a roll
tape.
of duct tape. Right.
And I'll leave you to it.
Yeah. Do you remember there was one guy that actually he said, it's my art piece, and it was supposed to be invisible. And then the museum sued him, and they said, no, he told you that's what it was, and it was.
I remember going to a museum and seeing a sink drain in the wall, and it was a $2 million
Stop.
art
Stop it.
installation. We're in the wrong business.
We are. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English, along with Andrea Jackson, Matt Doolittle. Cookie Monster has just gone over the moon now that Subway has introduced a holiday cookie that's big enough to stuff a stocking.
Ooh.
The double chocolate peppermint footlong cookie was just added to the menu and will be available through the end of the year. And if you're counting calories, the gooey chocolate delight comes with a whopping 1,330 calories.
Woo.
And that is more than half the recommended calories for most adults. Now, fans who have tried say, you know what, it's worth every single bite and fits perfectly in that stocking. So put your cookie in the stocking. And show your love. I know nobody wrote that at all. I don't know
banana
what-
in the tailpipe.
I didn't know, put the banana in the tailpipe. Yeah.
What is it? Put the lotion in the basket?
Put the lotion in the basket,
Basket.
banana in the tailpipe, and the cookie in the stocking. Yeah.
We got it. Starbucks new CEO, Brian Nichols, says the coffee chain plans to buy about 200,000 Sharpies to help turn things around.
Uh-oh.
He is betting on the personal touch and wants employees to start writing customers' names or
Okay.
messages back on those cups again. Companies reported declining sales for three straight quarters. Some customers think the coffee chain has drifted a little bit too far from its core. Starbucks has nearly 17,000 locations across the U.S. Other changes coming to cafes include a streamlined menu, a self-serve condiment bar for coffees, and doing away with extra charges for non-dairy orders.
That's a big deal.
Starbucks has been through 4 CEOs since 2022. Nichol was hired away from Chipotle, where he was able to turn things around after a food safety crisis back in 2018 for that chain.
I want to be there when he pitched the idea. Listen, this is going to save the company. We're going to have Sharpies back into the... We're like,
We're bringing back the
We're bringing Sharpies back. Apparently, this is what a CEO of Starbucks in the Seattle area, sounds like. I like the personal touch. I think, now the reason why they got rid of them is everything was computer printed with your name on there as well. I cannot wait till they misspell my name.
That's the best part of
That
it.
is.
It's sort
No,
of like
it really
a rite
is.
of passage. Your name gets misspelled at Starbucks.
It's a thing. In fact, that joke went away because they went to the printout
It's
of
no
it.
fun because you get that plastic white tag on the thing, and it's like, well, all right.
The barista should like this that work there because you get something printed out, you're thinking, well, really, all you're doing is a machine is making the thing. If it gives it a little bit of a personal touch, you feel like, okay, this is your drink that they made, which is in fact that's what it is. But
I also think they're making a good point here. A lot of people complain that they weren't able to go and mix their own cream and sugar and all that. They had that creamer bar, for lack of a better term. They put that all behind the counter. Now they're going to move it back so people have a little bit more freedom to mix up their coffees.
And I think that had something to do with the pandemic.
It did, I think, yeah.
Which I understand they're in little tiny packs of sugar because I got to have my sugar in the raw. I'm like, I don't know how any kind of disease is going to make it through because I can't even open it up right. Anyway.
I do think there's something else too to the menu because I don't know about you, but when I go to a restaurant, if they're serving burgers and Greek food and Chinese and spaghetti, you're doing way too many things and you're not doing one thing really good.
Keep it simple.
Starbucks does great coffee, and then they should stick with simpler, more streamlined menu, which is what they plan to do.
Well, if you look at the history of fast food, it was always keep it simple.
Yes.
And I think companies have blossomed from it, but it's also you always have FOMO when you go to Cheesecake Factory because of the catalog.
But don't you order the same thing every time you go?
Every single time I order the exact same. I know shepherd's pie is what I'm going to get. Chicken marsala, what are you?
Salmon with the broccoli and
So
the fries.
you know what
I
it
know,
is.
exactly. Every time.
You're going to go through the whole thing and go,
Which, by the way, I don't know if you know it, but it's such so many people read. It's a #1 bestseller already. The catalog. When there is ads in your menu, it's too big. So keep that in
40
mind.
pages of glossy food. That's all it is. Yeah.
Indeed, that somebody else just had in their hands too. So keep that in mind.
Right.
We stay on the restaurant business. And this one though got a little something extra. There's a German pizzeria busted after investigators said they were delivering pies with a side order of, the devil's dandruff. Little sugar booger stuff happening, right? Police said that a restaurant would provide the drugs when customers asked for the number 40 on the menu.
Number 4.
No word on what listed menu price was for the number 40, but cops were tipped off about the operation, eventually arrested 3 people, including a 22-year-old ringleader. So when they got the number 40, you knew that it was, having your drugs delivered to your house too, which is a big difference if you think about it. But you'd open up and there you'd have the little extra surprise.
Gives new meaning to DoorDash.
DoorDash, yes, for sure.
I'll take the number 40.
I'll take that number 40 and I'll write my name on it. A New York City deli has taken on a Big Apple classic with its Totally Donuts. Those in the know in Manhattan, Best Deli and Grill can order their famous breakfast sandwich featuring bacon, egg, and cheese on a jelly donut, which I think James's mom dropped off this morning. The traditional morning sandwich is usually served with a side of jelly, but the jelly donut, well, that just takes it to a
it's too much.
whole new level.
Too much.
I've seen that. Didn't they call this the Luther? Because Luther Vandross,
Well, I
he
mean,
didn't make a hamburger, did he? With donuts?
Hamburger between donuts
Kiss
and
Krispy
cheese.
Kreme.
Oh,
and all
yes,
that stuff,
that's right.
Which is, I think that's way over the top.
It is over the top. But that's what they know. If it has somebody walking in the door to try it, well, they've already won you over at least one time as well. Stick around. We have more Flash.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
Man, I love having you on. And of course, if you want to check out the show anytime, you're welcome to do so on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Anything you see here, there's actually links there and a whole lot more. So check that out online, everywhere. And we appreciate just being in your living room right now. We go to Savannah, Georgia.
I love Savannah.
Isn't that a gorgeous place, right?
Beautiful.
How are you with Amazon ripoff? No, I don't want to call them ripoff. Like companies like Amazon, like where you order online. That's what they do, online shopping. I guess
Amazon's really the only one I probably use.
and probably trust, right? There's other ones out there, lots of them. I think Alibaba is one. Have you ever heard of that? For Temu. Temu is one.
Shein.
This one is Shein. Yeah, how do we pronounce that?
I
Shein or
don't know.
Shine or Shein?
Well, hey, however you want.
Shane, Shine.
I've not checked it out, but I heard it. There's one called
Shein.
We're being told it's pronounced Shein. There's one called AliExpress, A-L-I Express. Okay, have you guys heard of this?
Yes.
All right, this guy in Savannah, he goes up there and he goes, oh, I found a drill. Check this out. I got the drill, great deal on it. Orders it and comes and he gets a thing in the mail, opens it up, and it's a picture of a drill. And it's like, well, that's what I want, but where's the drill at? He goes back online. He paid $22 for it, okay? And first of all, that should tell you a $22 drill, what are you going to get? And on there, it says you are not getting the drill, you're getting a picture.
Uh-oh,
You will receive a picture. He didn't read the fine print.
There you go.
But first of all, who would be selling it? Do you know what I'm saying? Who would sell a picture of a drill?
Picture of a drill, right?
For $22. He also said this was not the first time that's actually had an issue with it. He said he ordered a pressure washer one time, and he gets in the mail, he opens it up, and it's a screw. And that's it. That's all he thought was a screw. I don't know if they're trying to tell him something or whatever. So he goes back and he says that he's been going back and forth with AliExpress and they have yet to reimburse him for the drill mix-up
Yeah.
of the screw.
No, they shouldn't reimburse him.
Why
It
so?
was in the fine print. He didn't read it. That's his fault. It's
Well,
like people buying stuff off the street. Yeah, here's your iPad for $50 and it's a brick.
buyer beware, like
That's
literally.
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's his fault. You should have read.
I tend to agree with you on that. It seems like there should be, though. One thing I do appreciate about Amazon is the return policy.
Yes, I mean, and if there's an issue with your purchase, you can always return it, and they seem to accept everything back.
AliExpress, not so much, according to this guy. I don't know what I would do. I have this. I was going to do the deck, and well, this is what I would have used. A picture of it, right? I would be so angry at that, and myself that I didn't read.
Well, I think too, like I do think you have to be careful. Like if you're going to do some of these offshoot sites, like AliExpress. Who's ever really heard of AliExpress? I'm sorry, but
I want to know how to pronounce the company first, so that's why I'll never go to Shine.
Yeah, it's the cheapest clothes.
I still don't know how to say it. We've already been told.
You don't
Shein.
spell it, you order stuff off it.
Sheen. You know, as if what you order off of Amazon comes sometimes from China too. So you just have to be really careful.
You'll look at Temu and because it's China.
Yeah.
Temu and Amazon, you'll find a lot of stuff, almost the same pictures
Same
too.
pictures, yes.
Because they're coming, but they know that this company, I could sell it on Temu, and I can also make a page and put it on. That's where we're at now on Amazon as well. So
I think Alan's ordered a couple of things, and they show you what you think you're ordering, and then what you get is something completely different. Which
much like women of the evening, or dating, if you think about that.
Those
as well.
pages.
And that'll get you. And you'll get more than a screw in a box if you order it from there.
Power washer.
Thailand.
All right, I am certain there are people out there that have. We've had stories where like people ordered a belt and they got a knife in the mail.
Yes.
We want to hear your story. So what you got to do is go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Click on the sound off, and you can tell us the craziest thing that happened to you.
We'd love to hear from you. Of course, head to our website, sound off, dailyflashshow.com.
And we got more of today's trends tomorrow. So we're going to have some fun. If you stick around, you get to join in on it. So don't go anywhere. We would love to have you along for the ride.
Order it now.
And we promise we'll deliver. What we say we're going to give you, we're going to give you. All right, on that. So, by the way, on our website, you can check out Preview Review. Matt does all kinds of stuff. Links there. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time to get on the scene. This week, Doreen is chatting it up with Tony Avallone. He's the director and co-writer of the new documentary, The House From.
Today on The Scene with Doreen, I got to sit down with Tommy Avallone, the director and co-writer of one of the hottest documentaries in the country right now, The House From. He explores what it's like to live in one of the iconic homes from TV and movies, and so much more. Check it out.
What if you lived in a famous house? A house that is extremely well known for appearing on a television show or in a movie. For many people who visit the house from their favorite TV show, it can feel like they're part of the show. For the homeowner,
people would come and take fixings off the house.
It can feel like trespassing.
Oh my God.
You're walking in the footsteps of history.
Nostalgia means homesickness or a longing for a place that felt like home.
The house from.
Congrats on winning Best Documentary at Kevin Smith's Modcastle Film Festival.
Yeah, that was exciting. No, I'm a huge fan of Kevin Smith. You know, some of my early, movie locations I would go see would be Quick Stop and RST Video. So it does feel very full circle. I took the award, and when driving back, I went to the Quick Stop and RST Video and took a picture outside. So it was a lot of fun. Going to movie locations is always sort of my thing, and I used to work in Philadelphia, and I would walk by Real History, like, the Liberty Bell or Ben Franklin's grave, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Anytime I would go to Los Angeles, I was like, I could go to the Wonder Years house or the Freddy Krueger house.
Yeah.
That was the history that I always was into.
Right.
So, showing up with a camera and asking someone if we could film was a logical next step. So I've always been into, movie locations.
Yeah, well, like you said, now you can pee in the full house.
Yeah. I've urinated in so many different locations. It's a dream I didn't know I had.
See, now how many people can say that? That alone is worth the movie.
We're at the Golden Girls house. Isn't this cool? Who would have thought it was real?
Why do you think people identify so strongly with a movie or TV show that they make these pilgrimages to see it or just to take a photo in front of it?
We're seeing in the last decade how strong pop culture really is. Movies have been around for 100 years. We are the generation that grew up watching TV and feeling connected to these characters. Like, Golden Girls, you're watching that every week at your house. And the way the camera's positioned, you feel like you're right there with, B. Arthur and Betty White.
Right.
So you have this sort of connection where it feels like family, it feels like home. Some people may want to visit the Eiffel Tower. More people might want to see the Roseanne house or the Fresh Prince house. It's like, it's the way we connect more in definitely recent years.
People, it would probably be wonderful to live in a famous house, but in your exploration, you found that some homeowners do not feel that way.
Yeah, it really kind of depends on like how popular your house is or what the fans' interaction is. Like Friday, people are smoking cannabis outside the house all the time.
Right.
Home Alone is a constant of people coming over because it's such a yearly tradition to watch.
Right.
Full House, there's this Full House is by far the biggest. I mean, it's the White House, Graceland, and Full House.
Really?
That's
like the Mecca. That's the one.
Yeah. Well, because there wasn't a time in which there wasn't a sea of people outside the Full House house.
The new documentary, The House From, it's on Fubo, Maximum Effort channel, for those that don't know, Ryan Reynolds channel. Most VOD platforms, and of course, you can get yours at Apple TV. Any other places out there that I'm missing?
Well, yeah, just the
Everywhere.
Amazon, the Google Play, usually wherever you can legally download movies, it should be there.
Thank you so much. You're awesome, and the movie's amazing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
There's no place like home, and Tommy sure proved that today. And if you want to hear more of our great conversation, visit right here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. In today's Financially Speaking, we are talking about capital. For small businesses, this means everything, but did you know a good relationship might be the only thing holding you back from taking your success to the next level? Here to talk to us about it is Amanda Webster. She's the COO of Fund and Grow. Hey, Amanda, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
So why are relationships with lenders crucial for securing business credit compared to, let's say, personal credit?
So personal credit's super rigid. It's a computer, it's an algorithm, it's completely based on your credit score, and what it is, right? In business, it's very different. It's going to look at those pieces, but there's actual people making decisions. So, like anything else, people love relationships. So, if you build relationships with your bankers, with your lenders, with underwriters, they're actually able to override what the computer says. They're able to actually extend additional capital to you based on the information you're providing them. And that can be a huge piece to being able to get from one tier to the next into the millions of dollars in funding.
I think there could be a sense of fear or even shame when it comes to finances or the success or where you are with your entrepreneurship or your small business. So what strategies can business owners use to demonstrate they're a reliable investment to lenders and show them with confidence that they're reliable?
You know, getting a business banking account set up and really having a regular schedule of deposits and being able to show long term, and long term can be as little as 6 months, that you have healthy habits within the banking industry, that you're actually paying your bills on time, that you are having consistent deposits, that you have a business plan, sharing that with them. Anything you can give them to show how this capital is actually going to help you, that's where they're going to give you the most money. But being able to show a history of actual banking on the business side, they're not going to care about your personal. Building that relationship is key. So making sure you're banking with a good reputable lender on your business banking account.
It's a matter of like an old-fashioned paper trail. I guess you could call it an e-trail nowadays, but you know, that communication is so important. How can communicating on a regular basis your business goals and needs influence a lender's decision to extend your credit?
Like anything else, the bank wants to make sure that they're going to get a return on their investment in you. And the best way to show that is how you're going to make it happen. What is your plan? What is your strategy? What is your business model, whether it's a product or a service, kind of your timeline, giving them as much information as possible. You're basically advocating and selling yourself to this banker or this underwriter. So making sure you're telling an entire story, put a little emotion in it, never hurts, but being able to show them that you are in it, that you're putting all of your skin in the game for it, is going to make them give you the risk tolerance that they need.
Yeah, I think it's tough in this day and age when we do everything online for the most part, and banking for that matter too, to have that personal one-on-one space with a banker, with a lender. What role does consistent credit use and repayment plans play in strengthening trust with lenders?
So, kind of like personal, there's business commercial credit reports for the business EIN side, and they are almost always made up of your payment history. You don't have 30-day windows to be able to consider it late like you do on your personal side. You pay your business debt 1 day late, you're 1 day late. They see that. So, paying it early, paying it consistently, always making sure you're ahead of the schedule on your business loans and funding is going to build that up. And they're looking at it. It's in the background. A lot of business owners are not familiar with it. And that is going to be key, because if that doesn't look good, they're not going to lend to you. They're actually given a little score on how much they should lend to you based on your actual repayment habits.
And that score is different than, let's say, your personal credit score. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, that score only goes from 0 to 100. If you're looking at, say, Experian on the commercial side, and a 79-80 is about where you want to be on a minimum. And so that is almost always just made up on the repayment schedule and your healthy habits with the lending you've already been extended.
Good to have the good personal credit score, but also if you're an entrepreneur, that business credit score is so important. Amanda Webster, thank you so much. For more information, we will post all of this on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Alrighty, as we move on and move forward throughout this show, everyone deserves to actually feel safe and protected in their own homes, yet some communities are more at risk for fatal home fires. One brand is on a mission to protect every moment for everyone. Here's the story.
Parents find it hard to imagine that they'll ever experience a fire in their home. In fact, 40% of people believe they're more likely to win the lottery or get struck by lightning. However, more than 1,000 people have died in house fires across North America this year, including children, and this is cause for alarm. Kidde, North America's #1 fire safety brand, has launched the Living Jingle as part of their Cause for Alarm campaign. It's an emotional plea and call to action directly from the voices of children who've been impacted by house fires. The children featured in the film have also detailed their deeply personal house fire survival stories in short videos. The living jingle and house fire survivor stories are a reminder that house fires can happen to anyone, and they're available to watch on Kidda's YouTube channel. This is the third year of Kidda's Cause for Alarm campaign, which supports vulnerable communities who are at higher risk of fire-related incidents. Through partnerships with organizations such as National Parent-Teacher Association, Cause for Alarm helps address gaps in education and access to fire safety measures by providing resources and life-saving devices. This year, until the end of November, buying a Kidda alarm will prompt a $1 contribution for alarm donations up to $1 million in total retail value to communities in need. Now let's talk about fire safety. According to the NFPA, 3 out of 5 home fire deaths occur in properties without working smoke alarms. As such, it's important to check your batteries and test your smoke alarms at home to ensure they're in working order, and discuss with your children about what to do when they hear beeps that last. Visit causefораlarm.org to find activities for families, including a toolkit of worksheets, a children's book, a kid-friendly podcast, and more.
Hey guys, I want to make sure I encourage you to head over to our YouTube page and check out my little segment called Preview Review, where I give you a sneak peek and speak geek. So right now, a big thing that I'm going to be looking at is the Food and Wine Classic at the Swan and Dolphin. It's their 15th year. It's an amazing event at an amazing resort that's about to go under a huge $250 million renovation, which it's kind of needed, but it has the greatest smell in the world when you walk in the doors, so I'm hoping they don't get rid of that. But it's an amazing event, and right now all the charity proceeds this year are going to the Wounded Warrior Project, so you're going to check that out. Over there I have an interview with a veteran who tells me about it. Also coming up, we are doing previews of Gladiator 2. We are getting to check out the Red 1 movie with The Rock, so we'll have to see how that one goes. Make sure you head over, check it out on our YouTube page. Just search Preview Review.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch, Matt, and Andrea all hanging out here with you. Now, and when we take this shot here, it's always hard for the camera guys because Matt's much taller than both of us here.
6'2".
You're 6'2".
You're 6'2", okay.
And we were talking right before that, and I had this shot, you know, always tall. But I don't know if you guys saw the election right after Trump had walked in, and Barron Trump walked in. And I didn't know who he was first because we hadn't really seen him in, 4 years or so.
Yeah,
right?
and they keep him kind of privately behind the scenes. He's 6'9".
6'9".
He towers over Trump and Melania. Trump is, I think, 6'3".
Yeah, Trump's already a tall guy.
He's a tall guy.
So how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
6'4". All right, so put your hand 5 inches above your head.
That's how tall he is.
That's maybe not that tall. Take your hand out. That's a little too much.
You talking about right here? That's 6'6". I don't
like your hand over my
head.
6'9". So take it like 6'9".
He's about here.
So yeah, and when they first took the shot of him, it had Melania and Donald, and then I thought it was a picture of Barron right behind him. No, I'm not making fun of him. I just had not seen him in 4 years. I didn't know who
Well, I
he
think
was.
the last time you saw him, he was a younger kid, and then all of a sudden, now he's 18, and he's grown, and he's 6'9".
You look at the camera, you just see my neck.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. That's the issue with that.
Because you're right, because he was just sort of in the, and they couldn't make the camera wide enough to get his height in.
So that's great. I mean, and it reminds me of Giuliani's kid. Remember when he was making fun of making faces when he was doing the press thing? You know?
It's always fun when they have the kids out there because they're like, I don't know how to act or what to do. With
they
my
don't know
hands.
what
Like,
to do.
was it Prince George or with the royals? Like he's always acting up.
They're
like,
being
stop
kids.
it, yeah, they're just being kids. But
have fun.
We never know what to do with James when he'll walk in. We know, all right, what's James?
Taller, wider.
That's what it is.
All together.
Ladies love cool James.
They do. They love cool James.
It's always been because we always talked about like Clintons with Chelsea and then Amy Carter growing up was always a thing. The child when they're young like that, but they did the Trumps did a big. Really, you never really saw him come to the spotlight.
No.
Whereas,
never heard him
the other
talk.
ones, right? Now, I don't think either as well.
He's now at NYU, I believe. He's attending college at NYU in New York, and I think he has, bodyguards and protection every day. Clearly, he has to. But he was really, I think, instrumental, and I think Trump has said this in getting Trump to do a lot of the podcasts with Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn, and a number of those. And they're saying that the next election will likely be driven by podcasters.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And we'll be looking up to Barron no matter what
Yes.
we say, no however you feel politically. Everybody wave bye. We'll do a Beverly Hillbillies here. Everybody, y'all have a great one. Take care. We'll see you when we look.
We love you.
This is a hell of a family. Though.